Happy holidays! The year is winding down, and a spicy year it was, with average prices up 14.7% over 2023. We've been contending with super tight inventory and lots of buyer competition. But November did the November thing, what November likes to do, and the action in the market definitely cooled down as compared to the busy months that we saw prior. Let's get into what happened in November 2024. And as always, if you stick around to the end of this video, we can reflect on how the current market and the coming market of 2025 could affect your real estate goals, whether you're buying or selling. In November, there were a total of 1,920 residential unit sales in the greater Edmonton area real estate market, which was just over 500 sales less than what we saw in October, and that was a 22.8% decrease. This is definitely to be expected from a November market update. Most people don't want to be moving in the dead of winter or around Christmas time, of course. So now we're getting into our traditional slowdown that I've been talking about in all the other market updates I've done this year. And although we slowed down month over month, when you compare year over year, we were still up substantially higher at 18.4% more than November 2023. New listings amounted to 2,114, down 26.4% from October, and up 1.3% higher than November 2023. So sales are still up year to date, and listing inventory is still down. And when we're looking at months of inventory, we're now sitting at 2.35 months. So we're looking at a slight increase in months of inventory since October, but it's still the same story we've been telling all year long now, where we've been at about 2 months of inventory, basically all of 2024. Months of inventory, if you're wondering, means that if every available listing sold, nothing was listed going forward, it would take about 2 months to sell all of the listings at the rate that houses are currently selling. A balanced market is where buyers and sellers are more on an even playing field, and that is reflective of like 4 to 6 months of inventory. So being around that 2 mark, we're still well below that. The average price for a home in the greater Edmonton area right now is sitting at $436,000, which is just a slight decrease than where we were at in October. It's down 0.9% month over month, but we are up 14.7% in average prices year to date, as I mentioned earlier, which is absolutely phenomenal to see. Looking at this by housing category, detached homes sold for an average of $540,000, which is 2.3% less than October. Duplexes sold for an average of $411,000, up 1.1% month over month. And townhouses for $288,000, which was down 6.4%. Looking at year over year pricing, detached homes are still up 12.8%. Semi-detached 13.3%, and row housing up 6% year to date. Condos are also up 17%, which is not really surprising to me whatsoever, because if you think about it, people from Toronto and Vancouver, where do they live? They live in condos, so it's not a big adjustment for them to purchase a condo here. And for locals, the cost of living is increasing, so there's been a lot of downsizing as of late, and our condo market in Edmonton has actually been quite depressed for more than a decade. So it's fabulous to see for condo sellers that 17% increase in pricing over this year. And you can actually buy a fantastic condo in downtown Edmonton for under $200,000, which is great news for people that are looking for affordable home ownership. The average days on market has increased to 41 days. It was 37 last month in October on average. So inventory is still continuing to move at a pretty steady pace. The average days on market in November of last year was 46 days. So you already know this now. We are still substantially outperforming 2023, with that average price being 14.7% up year to date, which is great. We are looking at decently low days on market as well, low inventory overall, and that increase in average price. So sellers, if you do the math, it's excellent. It's an excellent market for you. And my prediction is that this is going to persist into the new year. and it'll become actually more intensified as we move into the thick of 2025. Now, buyers, interest rates are down, and even though we are seeing the seller's market, the competition right now is not nearly as intense as it will be in the coming months, or it has been during the rest of the year. So you can actually take advantage of the slight slowdown that we're going into and use it to your advantage. You're not going to see that same level of competition right now as you will see as we move into 2025. You may not have as many options in terms of listings either, but when a good one pops up, if you're prepared, you can jump on it. And like I said last month, this year we've seen a ton of interprovincial migration, mostly with buyers relocating from Ontario and BC, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Previously, Calgary was seeing the highest numbers of new residents, and what happened? Their prices increased, and now it makes more sense for these Canadians to relocate to the Edmonton area as opposed to Calgary. Buyers are still able to purchase a fantastic single-family home here for less than half of what they would pay for the equivalent home in Ontario or BC, because the average prices in those provinces is closer to $1 million. And as I mentioned, the average price for a detached home in Edmonton was $540,000 last month. If a buyer did want to spend close to $1 million in our market, they're definitely in that luxury category, and they're getting way more for their money. On top of this, the beauty of moving to Edmonton is that you still have access to many of the amenities that you would in the bigger cities in Canada and the rest of Canada. And the greater Edmonton area is now the most affordable, larger market in Canada. So many buyers are taking advantage of that, and they're moving here in order to get into the housing market. And some are first-time home buyers, so they're getting their foot in the door for the very first time. Like I said last month, I would never recommend moving to a city or any area just for the sake of getting a great price on a house. Move here to enjoy life and get more out of it. Edmonton is a wonderful place to live and definitely has some great things going for it. So moving here is not compromising on lifestyle at all, in my opinion. It can be a huge upgrade in your lifestyle. Take driving, for instance. I would say you're going to be spending a lot less time in your car overall than if you lived in the greater Toronto area. Less driving, more living. And with more disposable income and more time on your hands, you can do more of what you want to do, and that could be traveling, hobbies, whatever makes you happy. That's why I live here. So that was November 2024. If you're looking for a personalized evaluation on how the current market trends could impact you, I'd be happy to chat. Send me an email and we can start the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.